Hello my fellow book nerds. In this video I'm going to talk about or do a book review on The Lost Hero and the Son of Neptune. I already finished this whole series already and I loved it. I cried way more than I thought I was going to cry. Let's start off right away with The Lost Hero. So this book out of the 5 is probably not my favorite. Yeah, because it doesn't have, once you get off the bat with the Percy Jackson series, you thought you were going to start with Percy Jackson, but you didn't. You got Jason, Piper, and Leo. But I must admit, they are amazing. So let's start off with the story. So the story in this book is really well paced. You kind of understand what happens to Percy and then why all of a sudden Jason's there, and it makes sense at the end. It makes sense. So the one thing I do really like about this book is the setting. I mean, they go from, I think it's not Montreal, but Canada to Chicago, from, I know they went to San Francisco. They went to a ton of places that we all love, especially Chicago. I love that place so much. So since they went there, they just traveled all over the country. Well, 2 countries technically. So I thought the setting was amazing, and just the way he explained it all, it was just beautifully written and definitely an amazing settings or settings. Now the characters. Let's start off with Jason right off the bat. Now Jason is the son of Zeus, or actually more Jupiter, because they are bringing in the Romans and the Greeks, which is interesting. So they're mixing them in, right? So you have Jason, who is the son of Jupiter, and the only other one that we know of is Thalia. So very interesting that he can fly right off the bat. I love that idea that he can fly. But like who he is, maybe because he lost his memory that I don't like him that much, but he feels very cookie cutter, or like just not a lot to him. He doesn't really have any interest of what I see, except maybe Piper that he likes. I mean, he's Roman, maybe that's something to put into consideration, and the thing is that he doesn't remember anything, so that's why I feel he's kind of cookie cuttered. But besides that, I do really like him. He's a natural leader because he is the son of Jupiter. He has to be a leader. So those are some things that I like about him, but definitely feels cookie cutter. Now Piper, okay, she's the beauty queen. She is the one that the girl that you see, that you judge yourself compared to her. But then they kind of turn it around where she doesn't care about her beauty that much. She's a daughter of Aphrodite, so obviously she has to be beautiful. So you kind of just have to like wonder about her. You're like, do I like you? Do I really like you? Like, do I? Because you're so beautiful. But her personality definitely makes up for it. Her attitude, her go for it attitude is what I like about her. Plus, just the fact that she doesn't care makes it all better. My favorite part is where she says that she had a zit and she called him Bob. Like, okay, I like that. So I haven't not started naming my zits, but you know, that's hilarious. At least she has some redeeming qualities, because she doesn't want to be in the spotlight. She doesn't like being in it, yet she's kind of forced because of her beauty and because of her father. So that's kind of what I like about her. Now Leo. I love Leo. He's the best character out of this whole series. I love his humor, even though I know it comes from a place that is very sad, because he feels like he has to fill in that little void. He has to be funny to repel people or to make people like him. That's why he does it, but I definitely love him. I think he's so sweet and funny. And above him is that he could deal with fire, and that is awesome. Like, yeah, I mean, have you watched like the Avatar and the ones who bend fire? Heck yes, that's what I like. And so Leo is awesome. That's why I also like Percy, because he could do that with water. So sick. So he's a son of Hephaestus, and he's the one. Also, he has a dragon. he has a dragon. You guys know how much I love dragons, so definitely a massive part of that. So the characters in this book are pretty great. Those are the three base characters, obviously, in the book. My reaction to this book. So, well, I gave you a lot of it, right? But I love that he was able to bring in new characters into this story because he did it very well. I mean, we fell in love with Percy, we fell in love with Annabeth, we fell in love with Grover and Thalia and all of them. But now he brought in 3 completely new characters into the series, and he did it very well, and he made them very likable. He told a really good story out of it, and how much we all, not to ruin anything, but how much we all just dislike Hera. So much. So much. I can't get into more of that, but now, comparing it to the Percy Jackson books, this first book, I love that it's longer because you just want more content, but definitely I think I prefer Percy over Jason. I think that is it. I love that in this book you have all 3 points of view, not just Jason and not just Percy either. So you got to see how Piper thinks, how Leo thinks, how Jason thinks, and it's pretty great. And in the next series you get to see how Percy thinks, which we already know, but also how Annabeth thinks. That's the one that the girl that I wanted to see how her thought process was, because every time they described her, it was like she was asking like a million questions. Like whenever you said something, she was asking herself like a million questions of how does that work, what's happening, what's going on. That's why I love Annabeth. But this book, it is a really good book to start the series with. I highly recommend it if you haven't read it. And now we're going to the next one, so I hope you read that one. The Son of Neptune. This is where we find out what happens to Percy. So in the end you realize that Hera made a switch between Percy and Jason, between the camps, to get them together. So very devastating for Annabeth and everyone else. And Percy apparently was like hidden, I guess, for a few months until finally the summer where he has to go and free Death, which is awesome. Like that thought is cool. But ignoring that part, the story. So the stakes are very high. Obviously, during all these books, the stakes are always high. They are children's books, so you know at the end they survive. You know that they end up freeing everyone. Very little people die. I mean, it's not as realistic as you would want it to be, but I mean, it's definitely pretty cool. So that's one thing. They go to Alaska, which is sick. But apparently Alaska is like the land away from the gods. Like the gods have no control there, which I don't understand why. I mean, it's part of the US. It makes no sense. I do like that he does answer all my questions from the last book and in this book. And if you like, it's a massive cliffhanger. So if you're gonna read these books, I recommend you buy all 5 of them all at once, because you're gonna go through them in like a week trying to figure out what happens. I digress. Back to the characters. Percy, we love Percy, we know him. I'm not even gonna talk that much about him. He is obviously dealing with the idea of being separated and not having his memory, except I always wonder that. Why did he have the memory of Annabeth? Like, why? It never made sense to me. Like, why didn't Jason have one memory? It makes no sense. But whatever. I guess he wants to point out that he was so in love with Annabeth that even Hera couldn't take the memory of her away. That's all I can remember. That's all I could think of. But by the way, going back. So love Percy anyways, and who he is, and I'm glad that they fail, because Percy could be like that, the hero that never fails. And I'm glad that he fails a lot in this one, because it's normal for someone to fail, and if a hero in a story does not fail, it doesn't make sense. The next characters, I love these 2 characters. I think they're so sweet and funny and adorable. Frank, love Frank. I love that they describe him as like a sumo wrestler's body or like a linebacker's body with a baby face. That's so cute. Like, I could just kind of imagine him. He's about 14, so he hasn't had his growth spurt yet, or grown into it, or grown into his body. But he definitely sounds like an adorable human being, how sweet he is and shy, and he ends up being the son of Ares, which you would not expect. I love his backstory too. You'd have to read the book to completely get it, but the backstory of his family, his mom is amazing. Now the next one is Hazel, who wow, that girl like has been through a lot, like compared to no one else. Like, who? Maybe Nico? Yeah, no. So apparently Nico brings her back from the dead. I hope you read the book, but he brings her back from the dead, and that in itself is a horrible thing, like a scary thing. Also, everything that she does, her powers are insane, like amazing and scary at the same time. I love Hazel, her character. She's just like, she starts off very shy but still very strong. Also, in this book she gets her horse. I'm not going to tell you more, but she gets her horse and she becomes like this amazing warrior. She's awesome. All three of them are awesome. I like that they each have 3, and then if you're going to connect with the prophecy, you have Annabeth. 7. My reaction. What I hated about this book. I hated Octavian. I don't know how you say his name. I'm pretty sure that's how it is. I hated his freaking guts. Sorry. I hated his guts. I mean, the guy is upstart, creído, just horrible person, and he has nothing to think of himself as so great. He has nothing. The only thing that I could say is that he is very persuasive. He is able to turn a crowd on you. He is able to push an idea through very well. That's one thing he has. Besides that, I see nothing. So I really dislike him, and everyone in the books dislikes him too. So how is he great? I don't know, but he is. I hate him. Also, Reina. In this book, you meet Reina. She is awesome. I mean, she's a daughter of the war goddess Bellona. I can never say their names right. I hate that she's alone, but it makes it realistic that not every girl gets a guy. So she tries for Jason doesn't like her. She tries for Percy already has Annabeth, so she's kind of left alone, and that is very sad, just very sad. And she's stuck with Octavian. He sucks. So, in the end, you just hope she finds someone or that he introduces someone else. That could be her boyfriend, her companion, someone that just sticks with her. Yeah. But anyway, I love Reina and Hazel. Those are my favorite characters through all of it. I definitely love both of these books. Highly recommend. Get all the books if you're gonna buy these books. Get all of them, because you'll thank me later, because you're gonna want to read all of them right off the bat, like one after the other, because you gotta know what happens, right? So thank you so much for watching this video. Please like it, subscribe, and hit that notification bell down below, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye guys.